CBS Television Sports presents the National Football Conference Divisional Playoff game between the Detroit Lions and Dallas Cowboys. Brought to you by Firestone, the mileage specialist. And by Ford and your Ford dealer, who bring you the better idea cars for 1971. And by lead-free Amoco, the gasoline that helps fight air pollution in all cars. And by American Airlines. It's good to know you're on American Airlines.
Welcome once again to the sun-drenched Cotton Bowl in Dallas, Texas, prior to the start of today's NFC divisional playoff game between the Dallas Cowboys and the Detroit Lions. Hi once again, everybody. I'm Frank Gleber, along with Frank Gifford and Dick Stockton, and we talked a lot on the pregame show about the similarities and differences of these two clubs. Giff, when you get down to it all, what's going to be the big factor in the ballgame?
Well, of course, there are many factors, but one thing you really have to consider is the fact, and I think this is a matter of record, the Cowboys have always had trouble with a physical team. I mean a team that is a rough, all-out hitting team, and make no question about it, the Detroit Lions are just that. They come from all over the field. They come to play. They've been in 5 tough games, really hoping, as a matter of fact, they'd even get down to the flip of a coin, and they play violently, and the Cowboys are more of a finesse team. It's going to be a question, really, can the Cowboys, at least in my estimation, can the Cowboys match the physical roughness, the violence of this Detroit Lion team? If they can, the Cowboys have come on. I think they're an entirely different football team over these past 5 weeks. If they can match that kind of roughness, they can win it.
It's a great matchup, no doubt about it. We'll be ready for the start of today's game in just a moment.
I want a car for me that costs me a certain amount of money to run, and it works. I don't care who gives it, who puts it out.
Right.
Pocket.
Okay, the point is, they can make a car that will compete with a foreign car.
I
But they
really
have to
doubt
understand.
Detroit can make a car that can compare with a foreign car.
A long time ago, Ford Motor Company had a better idea. They almost blew it to the imports. They figured that what a lot of people really wanted was a small, reliable car. One constructed of the best materials after the simplest designs modern engineering can devise. But it will be so low in price that no man making a good salary will be unable to own one. Henry Ford said that. He said it in 1908. And he built it. It was called the Model T, and it stayed pretty much the same for 19 years. But what about today? Does Ford Motor Company build cars that compete with the best of the economy imports? Well, what are the economy imports known for anyway? I mean, besides economy, easy handling, serviceability? All right, drive a Pinto. See what making a small car wider than it is high does to give you a solid ride, handling and stability, even in high winds. Drive a Maverick or Comet and see how simple and serviceable a car can be. Listen, Ford Motor Company knows with the rising costs, there's a real need for good, small cars that can take the American road. And the fact is, Ford Motor Company has built more small cars than anybody. They don't plan on being just another competitor in that market. They plan on being the best, because they want you to buy a car. And if you think that's why they listen better, you're right.
Ford's better idea. We listen better. And we'd like to hear from you. Write, Ford Motor Company listens, The American Road, Dearborn, Michigan.
Cowboys and the Lions ready to do battle here at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas. Right now, the Dallas defensive unit being introduced to the sellout throng here of 72,000 plus. You saw Cornell Green there just a moment ago. This Dallas defense has really been hot in recent weeks. In fact, the Cowboys defense has not yielded a touchdown in 16 successive quarters. They had a touchdown scored on them last week against Houston, but that was an offensive error as the Oilers picked up a fumble and ran it in for a touchdown. Of course, the Lions, with their great rushing defense, have limited 9 of 14 foes to less than 100 yards a game rushing.
You're looking at big number 71. That, of course, is Alex Karras. Number 20 is Lem Barney. Interesting thing about the Detroit Lions, their 2 cornerbacks Dick LeBeau, number 44, Lem Barney, number 20, have 16 interceptions between them. That's almost unheard of. Cornerbacks are not supposed to pick up those kind of interceptions. That's sort of for the free safeties, but it'll give you an idea of what pressure that front four puts on a passer that he throws the ball up where those cornerbacks can pick it off. Here's Craig Morton. Tom Landry has called Craig Morton's plays for the past 5 games. It all began in Washington, and Craig Morton took the Cowboys to 5 straight wins after Tom Landry started shuttling plays with his tight end, Mike Ditka and Pettis Norman.
The Detroit Lions have won the toss of the coin and have elected to receive at the goal line to your left. Cowboys kicking unit and the Lions kicking unit deployed on the field. And in just a moment, we'll get this ball game underway. Now the presentation of the colors and our national anthem.
Join us now in a salute to the flag of the United States of America as the colors are presented by the United States Marine Corps Recruiting Station Color Guard at Dallas. As we turn our attention to the dawning of a new year, let us pause and unite to pay our respects. This our symbol of freedom and liberty. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Illinois and our national anthem.
And we're ready to do battle here in the Cotton Bowl, the Cowboys and the Lions. Dallas in the playoffs the 4 preceding years. First 2 years advanced to the championship game, only to lose to the Green Bay Packers. And, of course, in the last 2 years, they were beaten by the Cleveland Browns in the conference championships. That's Mike Clark, a big factor for the Cowboys this year. Get those 2 big field goals to beat the Browns a couple of weeks ago. Lions are still huddling at the 30-yard line, and the Cowboys are all ready to kick off. A little psychological warfare here, Giff, huh?
Well, this is a team that is all together, as they like to put it, and you'll see them huddle before they come in, their defensive unit. You'll see their offensive unit huddle on the sidelines. It's quite a group. They've come a long way.
Bobby Williams, number 45, and Lem Barney, number 20. Deployed on the goal line. Clark gets the whistle from the referee, Jim Tunney. And we're underway. That's Williams, 3 yards deep. To the 15. Spins free at the 20-yard line. Dropped at the 22. Claxton Welch, number 42. Leading the charge along with D.D. Lewis, number 50. Detroit goes to the offense for the first time. Ed Flanagan is their center. Chuck Walton, Frank Gallagher the guards, Rocky Freitas and Roger Scholes the tackles. Wide receiver Earl McCullough, along with Larry Walton. Mel Farr and Altie Taylor are the running backs, and Greg Landry, of course, is the quarterback. Lions come out with Walton and McCullough both wide to the right side. 1st and 10 from the 22. Taylor. Pickup of 4 to the 26-yard line. Bob Lilly, number 74, making the stop. I might mention that Mel Farr is playing in this ballgame with a specially constructed harness on his shoulder, Giff.
He damaged his shoulder 2 weeks ago against the Los Angeles Rams. He dislocated his shoulder, and yet he's out here. He has his arm strapped down to keep the shoulder from extending up over his head, which might cause a dislocation again. But I talked to him before the game. He said it's fine. And what the heck, all the marbles are out here today.
2nd and 6. Lions from their 25. Moving from the I this time. Taylor caught behind the line by Larry Cole, number 63. Cowboys defensive end. And that will set up a 3rd and 7 now. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League. It's intended for the private use of our audience, and any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the National Football League is prohibited.
And as we look at the first passing situation for quarterback Greg Landry, we'll tell you quickly he's one of the finest running quarterbacks in pro football today. Here he is, 3 years out of Massachusetts.
3rd down, call it 8 from the 24-yard line. Good protection. Larry Cole from behind, dropping Landry at the 21 for a loss of 2. That'll set up 4th and 12. He didn't waste any time running.
He will run on you anytime he gets the opportunity, and that time one of the big things head coach Tom Landry was looking for was pressure on the passer, and he got it from his front four that time. Bob Hayes and Mel Renfro deep for the punt.
Herman Weaver, a rookie from Tennessee, is the Lions punter. Both punters in this ball game from Tennessee. Cowboys' Ron Whitby, also a graduate. 40-yard average on the season, high and very short. Fair catch. Hayes at the Dallas 47. So the Cowboys will go to the offense for the first time, and they'll come out with Dave Manders at center, Blaine Nye and John Nyland the guards, Ralph Neely and Rayfield Wright the tackles, Pettis Norman the tight end, the wide receivers Reggie Rucker and Bob Hayes, and the running backs Dwayne Thomas and Walt Garrison. Quarterback, of course, is Craig Morton. Garrison to the 50, to the 49-yard line, perhaps the 48 of Detroit, a pickup of 5. It'll be 2nd and 5. Alex Karras, number 71, making the stop.
And the Cowboys opening their running game, running right at the only rookie in that defensive lineup for the Lions, number 83, Jim Mitchell, the left defensive end.
Morton wound up the number 5 passer in the league. 2nd and 5 from the Detroit 49. Garrison, the intended receiver, thrown over his head.
And as we watch this Detroit defense, we've talked so much about how they do so many different things. That time you saw the defensive right end, Larry Hand, moving off to cover the flare man coming out of the backfield. They're all over the place.
In 2 weeks, CBS brings you another sports special, the Glenn Campbell Los Angeles Open Golf Tournament, the first event of the 1971 PGA Tour with most of the top pros, including Billy Casper, the defending champion, and Arnold Palmer. It's Saturday and Sunday, January 9th and 10th on CBS. 3rd and 5, Dallas from the Detroit 49. Morton. That's Pettis Norman, the tight end, who has the first down at the Detroit 38-yard line.
And very heads-up play by Craig Morton. The Lions, as you saw, were threatening the blitz. And Pettis Norman, who shuttles back and forth with Mike Ditka with the play. Now look, you see the safety man, that's Uyghur up close, Mike Uyghur. And now he drops back, but Pettis Norman, all he did was pretend like he was going to block. And then when the linebacker didn't come, this is Mike Lucci, but when the linebacker didn't come, he just slipped over the middle.
1st and 10 from the 38, Dwayne Thomas gets a yard at most. Up off the bottom of that pile, Paul Newmoff, number 50. Lions defense, Jim Mitchell, 83. 71 is Alex Karras. There's Tom Landry. 82, Jerry Rush, and 74, Larry Hand up front. Paul Newmoff, 50. Lucci, 53, and Wayne Walker, 55, the linebackers. And the deep men, Lem Barney, 20, Dick LeBeau, 44, Mike Uyghur, 28, and Tom Vaughn, 48. 2nd, call it 10. Dallas moving from the Detroit 38. No score early in the ball game. Morton with excellent protection, trying to hit Reggie Rucker. It is intercepted. Number 28, Mike Uyghur, at the 30. Uyghur to the 40-yard line, and it's Morton who runs him out of bounds at the 44. Rucker was the intended pass receiver. But it bounced all over the place, and Uyghur picked it off.
Let's take a look at Reggie Rucker. He is to the outside. Bob Hayes is in the slot. Morton, with good time, steps back into the pocket. Dick LeBeau was right there with Rucker. The ball went up in the air, deflected, I think, by Tommy Vaughn. Uyghur comes up with it, and he puts a fine run on to give the Lions real good field position. 1st and 10 from their own 46.
McCullough to the left side, Walton to the right. Landry throwing. He's to midfield and dropped at the 46. A loose football. Charlie Waters of the Cowboys at the 35. Waters to the 40. And Waters is to the 45-yard line. What a wild and woolly turn of events early in the ball game.
Greg Landry trying to go deep to Earl McCullough, who was well covered by Herb Adderley. Out of your picture, Landry pulls it down. He gets bombed right about this point. Jethro Pugh, 75, pulled the ball out. Charlie Waters finally comes up with the handle. Now the Cowboys with a big break. 1st and 10 from their 45.
Here's a timeout with the score, Dallas nothing, Detroit nothing. Let's pause for a moment.
It's only a one-bedroom apartment. I never considered insurance. The mixer, that's $40. All our clothes, it sure adds up.
No protection. Most renters have a lot to lose, $5,000 or more. That's why Allstate offers low-cost renter's insurance. Protects against loss from fire, theft, vandalism, personal liability coverage. Allstate makes it all a lot easier. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Lead-free Amoco gasoline is made with absolutely no lead. That's important only if you drive or if you breathe. The American Oil Company.
Linebacker Dave Edwards of the Cowboys looking on. 10 minutes, 3 seconds left to play in the opening period. Dallas 1st and 10 from its 45. Dwayne Thomas cracked hard at the line of scrimmage by number 74, Larry Hand. Thomas has come along amazingly well for the Cowboys this year. After the first 4 ball games, he had carried just 12 times for 48 yards. He wound up 5th in the league in rushing with 803 yards.
Of course, we mentioned the Cowboys have 3 over 500-yard rushers. Calvin Hill has 577 yards, and of course Walt Garrison is over 500.
2nd and 9 from the Dallas 46. Morton to Garrison at the 40-yard line of the Detroit Lions. Walt Garrison, fine receiver in addition to be a capable runner. As we haven't mentioned it today, but Tom Landry started calling all of the Cowboys plays from the bench 5 games ago, and they're undefeated.
You just saw number 84, Pettis Norman, bring that play into Craig Morton. Landry did it because he said he wanted to take the pressure off Morton, who was trying to do everything for this football club, following the footsteps of Don Meredith, and apparently it worked because they've won 5 straight.
1st and 10, Dallas at the Detroit 39. Thomas to the 37 for a pickup of 2. Numoff, number 50, making the stop. 2 million people in Pakistan are faced with starvation, exposure, disease. The Pakistan flood was the worst natural disaster of the century. It'll be a greater disaster if we don't care. Send whatever you can to Save the Survivors, Pakistan Relief Fund, Box 1670, Washington, D.C. 20013. 2nd and 8. Dallas moving from the Detroit 37. Deepest penetration by either side. Garrison gets a block from Ralph Neely down to the 31-yard line. This time Wayne Walker, the right side linebacker, came up to make the stop. That'll set up 3rd down. Dallas will need a long 2.5 yards for the 1st down.
And you must consider that head coach Tom Landry sending his play in with Pettis Norman. There it will be delivered, as you see, number 84 to 14. Tom has considered that he is going up against the best defensive team against the rush. He also has the best rush in his own offensive unit. Let's see what Landry chooses on this 3rd and short.
The give is to Thomas. He's got the first down at the 25, right up the middle. Weegar, number 28, moving up from the secondary to make the stop. Dallas with a first down with the nose of the football just inside the 25. 7:15 left to play in the opening period. There's Joe Schmidt, head coach of the Lions, who's done a tremendous job this year.
It's interesting that Joe Schmidt was probably one of the most famous, maybe the first middle linebacker to really draw the fame to that position of his head coach Tom Landry that started that entire defense.
Thomas picking his way inside the 20 to the 19-yard line. A pickup of 5 yards on the play. Tommy Vaughn, number 48, makes the stop for the Lions. Second, a little less than 5. Call it 2nd and 4 with the ball at the 19.
Well, as you look at number 33, you realize you're looking at some football player. He is 6'1", 220 pounds, and he can fly. And he has a native feel about how to carry that football. He doesn't do all the things right. He'll carry the ball in the wrong hand occasionally, but he has some instincts.
Morton looking for Rucker. It is intercepted. No, it isn't complete. It was almost intercepted as Rucker did a great job contesting Lem Barney for the football over there.
Close call for Craig Morton. He tried to fire that in and to Bob Hayes, and Bob Hayes was being double covered by number 20 and number 28, Mike Weegar. Lem Barney had not really had a great year for Lem Barney. He's had 7 interceptions, and there aren't not many cornerbacks around with 7 interceptions, but he has been hurt. But he's one of those cornerbacks who is confident, cocky. He'll take the chances anytime he feels it's necessary.
3rd and 4. Dallas from the Detroit 19. Morton throwing. Rucker had him at the 2-yard line. The pass a bit underthrown.
Boy, and did Rucker have Lem Barney beat for the corner. Craig Morton just didn't get it to him. Underthrew it, and he had the protection. And Craig, I know, is upset.
Mike Clark has hit 18 out of 27 field goal attempts this year. Slight angle to the left on this one. Dan Reeves will put it down at the 26. It's good. Dallas 3, Detroit nothing. We'll be back with the Cowboys kickoff in just a moment.
Baltimore, Tulsa, Oklahoma City, Chicago, Cincinnati, Phoenix, Cleveland, Columbus, Dallas, Fort Worth, New York.
American not only flies to big cities, but to medium-sized cities and small ones as well. So next trip, think of American. Thank you.
Louisville, Indianapolis, Pittsburgh, Providence.
See our whole new face, it's a Chesterfield. Such an easy taste, it's a Chesterfield. Take our easy taste.
The new Chesterfield filters, tobacco's blended for a rich taste that's easy to take, like our coupon.
It's a Chesterfield.
6 minutes, 8 seconds left to play in the opening period. Dallas leading 3-0 as Mike Clark prepares to kick off. Lions drop back Bobby Williams on the left and Lem Barney on the right. Very short. That is Bruce Maxwell returning that kickoff to the 31-yard line. Maxwell is a rookie from Arkansas. Running back. Lions have put the ball in play from their 31-yard line.
I'll tell you just briefly, this is probably the most beautiful day I've ever seen in the Cotton Bowl for football. Ordinarily, you have a prevailing wind in what would be in the Lions' face. But today it's just a slight breeze. Should not affect the play whatsoever.
Landry sending McCullough and Walton both wide to the right side. Straight power with Mel Farr carrying to the 34 for a pickup of 3. Leroy Jordan, number 55, Leroy Jordan, and Lilly making the stop.
And let's take a look at Bob Lilly. He's one of the best around, big number 74, moving against the left guard, Chuck Walton, number 63, beating that block and bringing Mel Farr down. Just have to speculate. Mel Farr is also a fine receiver. It might be very difficult with that arm strapped down to get his hands up as a receiver.
2nd and 6, Detroit from its 35. Fine drive shown by Aldi Taylor as he plows up to the 40-yard line. So again, Lilly over there, so is Chuck Howley, Larry Cole. There's the Lions bench, basking in the sunshine.
Well, what a fine job they've done in the final stretch. They were playing strictly for a playoff spot. As we mentioned, they won 5 straight. They won 4 of those from division leaders. Every game, as they put it, was a pressure game.
3rd down. Lions need 1 for the first down, moving from their 40. Farr has the first down at the 42-yard line. Dave Edwards, number 52. Jordan, number 55 in there.
Jethro Pugh, number 75, I believe, is just putting a shoe back on. Frank Gallagher, number 68, Rocky Freitas, right tackle for the Lions, opening a big hole. And they have a fine blocking offensive line. Chuck Walton, the left guard, number 63. One of the best around. Ed Flanagan at center, number 54.
Walton to the left side, McCullough to the right. Lions 1st and 10 from their 42. Farr saw a little daylight, got it across the 45 to the 47-yard line. Charlie Waters, 41. Larry Cole, 63, making the stop.
What an athlete he is, number 24. He's in his 4th year out of UCLA, and he is one of the quickest starting football players you'll ever see. There's Craig Morton. I think he's probably still thinking about Reggie Rucker being wide open on the goal line.
2nd and 5. Lions at their 47. This drive started on the 31. Farr to the 49. Pickup of 2. That'll set up 3rd. Still needing 3 for the first down as Lilly, number 74, jams the hole again.
And a few moments ago, we saw, and you see Mel Farr holding that shoulder. He has got to be in pain. But a short while ago, the Cowboys, on a very similar situation, 3rd and a long 2.5, make it 3, came with the trap up the middle rather than the pass. This will be Greg Landry's call.
Ball is at the Detroit 49. He's going to throw. Good protection, and he's got a man in the clear. Had Walton, the pass was just a little bit high and off his shoulder pad. So the Lions will be forced into a field goal situation. And Weaver comes on to do the punting for the 2nd time this afternoon. His first punt, very short, only 34 yards. Hayes on the left of your screen, Renfro on the right. Weaver standing back at his 34, awaiting the snap. Steve Kiner almost got a piece of that punt. Renfro lets it bounce inside the 5. It is into the end zone. Audible sigh going up from the fans who thought that thing was going to come bouncing back. With the score, Cowboys 3, Lions nothing. Let's pause for a moment.
Ford builds Maverick for people who like small cars, LTD for people who like big, quiet cars, and something right in the middle, Torino. If you'd like sportier handling and smaller car prices without giving up the room for 6 and a big car ride, remember, Ford's got something right in the middle. Torino, available now at your Ford dealers in 14 middle-size models.
Now, another better idea.
from Ford. Was your last car a headache? Hard to service? Cost too much? Beat the odds. Make yourself a Maverick. You get a peppy 6 engine. It's simple to service and simple to park. So why gamble? The 2-door economy Maverick is a sure thing. It's the simple machine that always pays off. Ford gives you better ideas.
2 minutes, 16 seconds remaining. First period. Cotton Bowl, Dallas. Cowboys lead the Lions 3-0. Dallas first and 10 from its 20. A lot of movement by the Lions defense as Garrison took the handoff, got back just to the line of scrimmage. You know, they say that the type of defense they play, Giff, you almost have to go on a quick count or a late count to succeed.
Well, if they can get the jump on it, because they do a lot of blitzing. Here's Greg Landry on the sideline. If you go on a quick count, well, then they're not set in their shifting formation. They're not set to blitz. The safety man coming up is not timed it out. Or you go on a real long count and hope to draw them off sides.
2nd and 10. Dallas from the 20-yard line. Hayes to the right side. Rucker to the left. Morton put Dwayne Thomas in the slot with that motion. Garrison to the 27-yard line. A pickup of 7. 3rd and 3. Tomorrow, CBS brings you the other National Football Conference playoff game with the San Francisco 49ers meeting the Minnesota Vikings. The television broadcast starts at 12:30 Eastern Time. Now, these clubs didn't meet during the regular season this year. Minnesota had the best record in the game, 12-2, winning the Central Division title. 3rd down. Dallas needs 3 for the first down. Ball at the Dallas 27. Morton, excellent protection. Pettis Norman was the closest man to it, but Morton apparently saw everybody covered and unloaded.
That was big Alex Karras pressuring Morton to throw that football away, and I'm sure he just threw it away.
That sets up a punting situation for the Cowboys for the first time this afternoon. Detroit will go with Len Barney, number 20, and Tom Vaughn, number 48, from top to bottom. Ron Whitby is the Cowboy punter, number 2 kicker in the National Conference. Fair catch signaled by Vaughn at the 34-yard line, and the Lions will take it from there. 39 yards on the punt by Whitby. Lions this year scored a club record 347 points during the season, which was 2nd in the NFL. Of course, they really came on strong in the latter stages of the season. They opened hot. They had a slump at midseason in which they lost 3 straight and came out with a flourish, winning their last 5. Landry. Walton at the 49-yard line. A pickup of 15 yards and a first down. Herb Adderley making the stop.
The Lions have a speedy set of outside receivers. They're not too big. Earl, 49, is Larry Walton, of course. He's in his 2nd year out of Arizona State. He's only 6 feet tall, weighs about 185 pounds. And the other side is Earl McCullough, 5'11", 175. But they have great speed, and that time you saw the veteran Herb Adderley giving Walton plenty of room. Their leading receiver, of course, is Charlie Sanders. He's the tight end. He caught 40 over the season.
That's the end of the first quarter with the score, Dallas 3, Detroit nothing.
In conclusion, friends, may I proudly...
When people came out for an old-fashioned political speech, they didn't mind listening a little, as long as they got their beer. Those were the days when beer was one of the best things they had in life. So they had the best, good old-fashioned draft beer. But good old-fashioned draft beer came in bad old-fashioned beer trucks. So most of the time people had to go without, or go where they could get it. Until Peels put old-fashioned draft in new-fashioned containers. Now nobody has to settle for anything less than the best. For a taste of the good old days, try Peel's Real Draft in aluminum cans and big mouth barrel bottles.
You never had it so good.
Mike Clark's 26-yard field goal, the only score in this ball game as we head into the second period. Detroit with a 1st and 10. The nose of the ball just into Detroit's side of the field. Mel Farr trying to get loose. Larry Cole, number 63, got an ankle and wouldn't let him go.
Let's take a look at that fake pitch out. What it is, you'll see Landry flipping it out to the, faking the flip out to the right, and then just handing off to Farr, who breaks behind. There's the fake pitch. Jethro Pugh goes with it, number 75, but Larry Cole, 63, is there to make the stop.
2nd and 9. Detroit now moving from the Dallas 49. New running back in there. That, of course, is Steve Owens, the Heisman Award winner from Oklahoma, who came on so strong a couple of weeks ago. Owens carried to the 44-yard line, a pickup of 5 on the play. That'll set up a 3rd and 3 for the Lions. Owens comes right back out of the ball game, and Mel Farr is back in.
And the last time on a similar situation, Greg Landry chose to try and throw the football. He was forced to run, but he again has that 3rd and 3. Walton comes to the left. He's covered by Renfro, and to the right goes Earl McCullough.
Landry looking. He has got the first down at the 38-yard line. You know, you talk about this fella. They distinguish him from a scrambling quarterback. They call him a running quarterback.
I'll tell you, he's a lot of quarterback. Greg Landry, he's 6'4", he's 205 pounds, and he passed for 61% this year. He came in to take the job away from Bill Munson and has done a phenomenal job. Talking with Joe Schmidt before the game, he doesn't speak in superlatives of many football players. He says this is one of the finest prospects to come along in years.
McCullough and Walton both split wide to the left side at the bottom of your screen. Lions 1st and 10, Dallas 38. Farr to the 36-yard line. Pickup of 2 yards before Leroy Jordan makes the stop. Second and 8. Lions moving from the Dallas 36-yard line, their deepest penetration thus far in the ball game. This is the first regular season game Detroit has played on the artificial turf. They've been working out in Houston all week, practicing at Rice University, which has the artificial turf. Taylor driving to the 30, to the 29. He's going to be close for a first down. Carried about 4 players with him. Jordan again over there, 55. Larry Cole, 63. The officials mark it just inside the 30-yard line. That'll be just shy of the first down. 3rd down, called at 1. Craig Cotton, number 87, a second tight end, comes in to beef up the blocking for the Lions. He replaces McCullough. Taylor fumbles. That's Waters. Charlie Waters of the Dallas Cowboys has run out of bounds at the 46-yard line. Waters with his second fumble recovery of the afternoon.
Allie Taylor, let's take a look at that. Moving off the left side, and he's hit hard by number 55, Leroy Jordan. The ball pops loose. The Cowboys again with another break. Again, they'll have 1st and 10 from their own 46.
With the score, Dallas 3, Detroit nothing. Let's pause for a moment.
Now, a new stunted Town & Country winter tire you can put on all 4 wheels of your car to really improve your stopping ability on ice. With just 2 new Firestone Town & Country studded tires on the rear, you still stop. And you've stopped a lot quicker than with just 2 ordinary studded winter tires on the rear. Firestone's new asymmetrical Town & Country tire with 112 safety studs, available where laws permit, gives us more reasons than ever to say you go through ice, mud, or snow, or we pay the toll.
If anybody tells you that ordinary snow tires are as good as Firestone's new asymmetrical Town & Countries, tell him he's all wet.
Look for the new asymmetrical Town & Country winter tire from Firestone, the mileage specialist.
There's Charlie Waters, the Cowboys' latest hero, with 2 fumble recoveries. Dallas now 1st and 10 from its 46. Garrison trying to go inside. But boy, do they fill that gap. Had everybody in the middle in there. Mitchell, Jerry Rush, number 82.
And I would have thought at the bottom of the pile, Mike Lucci, number 53, and he is one of the best middle linebackers you're ever going to watch play football. He's in his 9th year out of Tennessee. Joe Schmidt is on record as saying that he's the best middle linebacker in football today. That includes a lot of them, and I'm thinking of one big Chicago Bear, Dick Butkus.
2nd and 10. Thomas to the 50, to the 45. Dwayne Thomas is close for the first down at the 44-yard line.
We've been watching him do it all year long. Somehow or other, they just can't seem to get Dwayne Thomas down. He breaks more tackles than most football players you'll ever watch, and he's just the rookie.
Just shy of the first down. 3rd down, less than a yard needed for the first down for Dallas from the Detroit 44.
That, of course, was Pettis Norman delivering head coach Tom Landry's play to Craig Morton. And this will be the play.
Thomas has the first down at the 41-yard line. I have seen Tommy Vaughn that time tried to hit him head on, and Thomas just ducked right underneath him. Next Friday, New Year's Day, CBS brings you the #1 college bowl game, Texas and Notre Dame, right here in the Cotton Bowl at 1:45 Eastern Time. This, of course, is a rematch of their game last New Year's Day when Texas won it by a score of 21-17. Texas has that 30-game win streak they'll be putting on the line. 1st and 10, Dallas from the Detroit 42. Morton has the pass deflected on him. Might have been Lucci. He was in there, number 53. Karras was also over there. Morton has hit only 2 out of 8 for 24 yards. He had some kind of day against Houston last Sunday, completing 13 out of 17 for well over 300 yards.
He's getting certainly a different defensive look in this game than he got from Houston, because Detroit, as usual, they're jumping linebackers and safety men all over the place. Now they're in an odd man line.
2nd and 10 from the Lions 42. Garrison caught from behind, and a great defensive play by Wiley Alex Karras, number 71. Can't fool the old man.
And he's been around 12 years. He's taken some pretty good shots, and he's delivered a few of them.
Loss of 6 on that play. It's set up 3rd and 16 now with the Cowboys shoved back to the Detroit 48.
What a big help Alex Karras has been to the rookie Jim Mitchell, who plays right on his left side, number 83. He talks with him, directs the traffic, so to speak.
Dan Reeves has replaced Thomas at running back. 3rd and 16.
Watch it quick, Big Barney.
Rucker. Hit simultaneously by Dick LeBeau, number 44, another wily veteran of the Lions.
How about that one? He must have ran into a middle linebacker somewhere.
What he didn't get for Christmas was his 2 front teeth, huh? Punting situation for Dallas. Ron Woodby comes on to do the punting. Lions have Barney, number 20, on the right. And Vaughn. Barney fields the line drive kick, runs right into Kiner. Steve Kiner, number 60, the Cowboys rookie linebacker, who drops him at the 19-yard line. With the score, Dallas 3, Detroit nothing. Let's pause for a moment.
Recognize it? This is the world you live in. packed with simple pleasures, places to see, people to love. And Pepsi-Cola is the one cola that belongs with every happy, hopeful moment you live.
You got a lot to live, and Pepsi's got a lot to give.
Winston tastes good like a cigarette should.
You mean, ooh, as a cigarette should.
What do you want? Good grammar or good taste?
I want my mother to see this catch.
Pardon our grammar, but Winston tastes good like a cigarette should.
Winston may not say it right, but they sure know how to make it right. Rah!
Ooh, I think I am falling for you.
Frank Lieber along with Frank Gifford and Dick Stockton. Cotton Bowl in Dallas, 8:37 left to play in the first half. Dallas leading 3-0. Lions, 1st and 10 from their 20. Mel Farr hit by Leroy Jordan as he crossed the line of scrimmage. Got up to the 22. That's something we haven't had a penalty marker down yet. I don't know why I thought of that, but I just did.
Well, both teams, when they get to this position, are awfully careful. They know that there's no tomorrow if they drop this one. We talked about the fine linebacking in the middle for Detroit. Leroy Jordan, the 8-year veteran of the Cowboys, is also a mighty fine linebacker.
2nd and 8. Lions at their 22. Landry, pressured by Lilly, gets the pass away. That's Taylor to the 24-yard line. He picked up 2 yards after all was said and done. It was rookie Charlie Waters, number 41, who made the stop.
Watch Greg Landry. Lilly will put the pressure on, but that's really what Landry wants now. He is letting the pass rushers in. You get soft blocking. You saw 42, Altie Taylor. He didn't even try and hit Lilly. That's how you set up the screen. And Greg Landry is really, he's really going to become a great one. I'm sure of that, because he does all things well.
Lions with a 3rd and 6 from their 24. Walton, the intended receiver, and he can't quite reach it. He had outdistanced Herb Adderley, but once again Landry got a big rush on him. Landry is now 2 out of 4 for 17 yards. And the Lions will have to punt, and the hand is for the Dallas defensive unit.
And Landry even did a good job on that one. He got tremendous pressure from Larry Cole, and Walton had not made his final break, so Landry hung it up in the air, and it came very close to connecting.
Renfrew on the left, Hayes on the right. Herman Weaver punting for Detroit. Renfrew at the 25 to the 30. Still at the 30, up to the 33. Number 87, Craig Cotton, is on the bottom of that pile. In addition to tomorrow's NFC playoff game, CBS will bring you 2 other NFL postseason games. Next Sunday, January 3rd, the 2 winners of this weekend's playoffs meet for the National Football Conference Championship. And on Sunday, January 24th, CBS brings you the AFC-NFC Pro Bowl game from Los Angeles at 3:30 Eastern Time. Dallas 3, Detroit nothing. Cowboys 1st and 10 from their 33. Thomas running into big trouble at the line of scrimmage. Karras, number 71, was up there, and so was Wayne Walker, number 55, and Jerry Rush, number 82. No gain, 2nd and 10.
It's a down where Detroit specifically likes to red dog. They like to shoot their safety men on this. You see Tommy Vaughn walking up there, chit-chatting with the linemen. But 2nd and long yardage, they like to shoot all their linebackers and even shoot the safety.
Garrison to the 37-yard line.
That time they didn't come. This is Neumoff working against the tight end Pettis Norman. In this case is Mike Ditka, 89, takes on the block of Ditka. Ditka with good position, but Neumoff, who's really very quick, 6'1", he's 215 pounds. He's not too big, but he's quicker than a cat. That time getting under the block of Ditka.
3rd and 6. Dallas from the 37. Morton with good protection. Bob Hayes at the 50-yard line. They're ruling it incomplete. They're ruling that Hayes trapped the ball.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Bob Hayes knows he didn't trap it. Take a look at it again. Maybe we can see working against Lem Barney, number 21, Hayes. The ball is thrown low. We'll let you be the judge. It's very difficult. I think it took a little bounce.
4th down. 6 for Dallas. Whitby in the punt. Barney is deep. So is Tom Vaughn. 5:27 left to play in the first half of this defensive battle. A lot of whistles before the ball was snapped. So bring it back.
Well, I can't tell you what that might be, other than too much time on the part of the Cowboys.
Illegal procedure is the indication we get. 5-yard penalty will move the ball back to the 32-yard line. Now 4th and 11. Whitby hits this one a mile. Barney lets it bounce at the 5-yard line, and he's going to be in trouble. D.D. Lewis, number 50, was down there along with Mark Washington, number 46. And did Whitby ever give it a ride? 65 yards on the punt. With the score, Dallas 3, Detroit nothing. Let's pause for a moment.
We color, we cut out things, and we paste most things together. We make things. I like to run around, make some noise, and yow. Ride my bike, I like to crush into people.
Okay, come on now. Say goodbye to Grandma.
Goodbye, Grandma, I love you.
All right now.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, Mother, everything's fine. I'll write a long letter soon. Now take good care of yourself and Dad. Bye now. Bye.
Do you have relatives back home you haven't seen in ages? American Airlines has special family discount fares to hometowns all over the country. How much for your family? It's certainly worth checking into. Wouldn't it be a shame if you could afford the trip and didn't know it?
That's Tommy Vaughn of the Lions, who is limping rather badly as he left the field, but he appears to be in better shape right now. Back to live action. Detroit 1st and 10 from its 5-yard line following that tremendous punt by Ron Whitby of Dallas. Far out to the 8. Pickup of 3. It'll be 2nd and 7. 54 is Howley. 66 is Andre. Boy, that was some kind of punt. And to drop it on the 5 like he did really puts the Lions with their backs to the wall now. Clock moving with 4 minutes, 45 seconds left to play in the first half. 2nd and 7. Detroit from its 8-yard line. Taylor got a couple to the 10. Ran into Lilly, number 74. That'll set up 3rd down. Lions will still need 6 for the first down. D.D. Lewis checks into the defensive lineup for Dallas, replacing Dave Edwards at an outside linebacker.
It would probably be in anticipation of the pass. Dave Edwards has been shaken up a couple of times this year, and D.D. Lewis probably has a little more speed to cover on the pass that Tom Landry is probably anticipating.
Flag down. Landry out to the 12-yard line, but you saw some movement on the right side of the Dallas defensive line.
Well, George Andre just crossed the line of scrimmage, and when you are 6'6" and 250 pounds, you're not really a ballerina out there. He just couldn't get back. He did not make contact, but he just could not get back.
That, of course, is a very big play for the Lions, who otherwise would have had a punt out of their end zone. Now they have a third down and need just a yard for the first down from the 15-yard line. Once again, two tight ends in there. Craig Cotton, number 87, has joined Charlie Sanders, number 88. 3rd and 1. Farr stacked up at the line of scrimmage, and I don't believe he made it. See where they measure his progress. Charlie Waters, number 41, along with Herb Adderley, moving up from the secondary to make a fine defensive play. It's going to be close enough for measurement. Shy of the first down by that much. That much. 4th down.
And I'll tell you, Greg Landry looked over the bench, and Joe Schmidt, for a moment, didn't send his punting team out. And these Dallas fans are cheering their defensive unit, as well they should, stopping the very potent offense of Detroit.
This Cowboy defense is now working on its 18th successive quarter without yielding a touchdown. Renfro, number 20, Hayes, number 22, and Herman Weaver standing on the goal line waiting to punt. Nice kick, nice kick. Renfro backpedaling at the 28, 30. Renfro to the 35. Dropped by Craig Cotton, number 87, at the 42-yard line.
Renfro just about turned that corner. That was the first time the Cowboys have set up to try and run back. The previous punts they had tried to block. 57 yards for Weaver. He really put the foot to it.
Dallas leading 3-0. 3 minutes left to play in the first half. The clock is moving. Rucker wide to the right side. Hayes set inside of him. Garrison to the 46-yard line for a pickup of 4. Lucci, number 53, is over there. Lion defender limping there, you may notice, is Jim Mitchell, the rookie end from Virginia State.
One thing you do when you set up an offense for a team that does a lot of stunting is you set up just 4 or 5 running plays designed to go against any defense. That way you don't force your quarterback to audibilize a lot or change the play at the line of scrimmage.
Cowboys go with a double wing formation. Sideline throw intended for Hayes. Morton is now 3 out of 12.
And he's not having his better day. He missed Reggie Rucker earlier for a cinch touchdown. He underthrew to Hayes now twice.
Cowboys now have a 3rd and 5. Ball is at their 47-yard line.
This is the down where Craig Morton has to have circulating in his mind, what are they going to be in? They could be in the zone. They could come with the blitz. They could be in man-for-man.
Once again from the double wing.
Wow.
Over the head of both Rucker and Hayes. And Dallas forced into a punting situation.
Well, I could say he just was throwing it away, but the man was wide open. He just overthrew it.
We pause 5 seconds for station identification. You're looking at Lem Barney, number 20, and Tommy Vaughn, number 48. As Ron Whitby of the Cowboys prepares to punt it away. Barney at the 11. Still on his feet. Finally dropped at the 16-yard line.
Lem Barney, and he has total disregard for a very little body. You saw him earlier catch it right in front of a couple of big Cowboys.
Here's the 2-minute warning with the score: Dallas 3, Detroit 0. Let's pause for a moment.
What can one man do, my friend? What can one man do to fight pollution in the air that's closing
everywhere.
The only anti-pollution gasoline that makes sense to me is one with no lead at all. And Amoco's the only one that comes in 2 lead-free grades. One for our big car and the new one for our little car. Lead-free Amoco.
I'd like to speak to Mr. Johnson, please.
Busy. I'll try Mr. Swanson.
Oh, but...
Doesn't answer.
Well,
One moment, please.
Lost in the shuffle. Allstate is trying to make it all a lot easier. Say you've got a burglary claim on Allstate homeowners insurance. You just call Allstate and get a claims specialist who's always easy to reach. Allstate makes it all a lot easier. You're in good hands with Allstate.
It's Craig Morton of the Cowboys, obviously not happy with his throwing, doing a little extra warm-up.
Doing a little practicing over there, along with player coach Dan Reeves handling the ball. In defense of Morton, he has 2 weeks ago suffered quite a severe cut on his passing hand, but last week he was on target beautifully.
Lions 1st and 10 from their 15-yard line. Steve Owens, number 36, as Andre makes the stop at the 18. Officials mark it at the 19. A pickup of 3. It'll be 2nd and 7. Clock moving with 1:40 left to play in the first half. Both sides with all 3 of their timeouts remaining. Walton and McCullough come wide to the left side. Landry stepping back, hitting Walton for the first down at the 31-yard line. Renfro, number 20, making the stop. Hey, you talk about your cornerback play. Cowboys with Renfro and Adderley, and the Lions with LeBeau and Lombardi. I guess you couldn't find 2 finer sets of cornerbacks.
They all have one characteristic of all cornerbacks, and they're willing to gamble at any time.
Lions are going to utilize the first of their 3 allotted timeouts here with 1:19 left to play in the half. There's Bobby Hayes. You notice Bobby's got some gloves on here at the side. A little chilly down there in the shade, and of course the entire playing field now is just about in the shade. Temperature in the low 50s. A little breeze blowing.
That's another interesting comparison. You're looking at Bob Hayes, and for the Detroit Lions, they have Earl McCullough. Both great track champions. Both well under 9.4 for the 100.
Hayes last Sunday against Houston caught 4 touchdown passes, which was a club record. There's McCullough, number 25. First and 10. Lions moving from their 32-yard line, trailing 3-0. Landry misfiring that time. Looked like somebody hit his arm. Boy, that thing went off.
Actually, he looked downfield, and he had Earl McCullough wide open in front of Mel Renfro, but he saw Leroy Jordan, the middle linebacker, coming over, and he just threw it in the ground.
They say this fella is the fastest quarterback in the NFL, and a rather statistical oddity. He owns the mark this year for the longest run from scrimmage. He had a 76-yard quarterback sneak in the season opener against Green Bay, and that stood up all year.
Believe me, that'll stand up for a long time.
2nd and 10. For McCullough, Renfro. Good position by Mel Renfro. Looked up just at the right time and was there to contest Earl McCullough.
Well, we talked about track men. Mel Renfro is also a track man at the University of Oregon. Let's take a look at it. Speed on speed. Renfro 20, 25 is McCullough. Good move by McCullough, but Renfro, the veteran, using the sidelines, he knew it was there. He knew McCullough couldn't catch it out of bounds, so he was able to turn his back and make up the distance. Right now, Greg Landry has put himself into another passing situation as we see the Dallas Cowboys insert D.D. Lewis for the extra speed at the linebacker position, replacing Dave Edwards.
Landry is 3 out of 7 for 29 yards. 3rd and 10 from the 32. Owens at the 35, stopped short of the first down at the 38-yard line. He didn't make it to the sideline, so the clock continues to roll along, showing 50 seconds. And once again, a big hand for the Dallas defensive unit.
I'm really quite surprised that Dallas has not called timeout. The clock continues to roll, and you better believe Detroit is going to take all the time they can before they punt it.
Renfro and Hayes, the deep men. Clock still moving with 25 seconds left. Nice high kick. Oh, he got off another beauty. Touchback will bring it out to the 20-yard line, and Dallas will have 15 seconds to complete the first half's play.
Well, I'll tell you, he kicked that ball 70 yards in the air.
61 yards officially from the line of scrimmage for Herman Weaver. So he's got a 57-yarder and a 61-yarder. There's Bob Lilly, Dave Edwards, 52.
And by not calling that timeout, the Cowboys now will take over 1st and 10, but they only have 15 seconds remaining on the clock.
Hayes to the right side, Rucker to the left. Garrison to the 25-yard line.
And Alex Karras there again. Let's watch number 71. He's a KGO veteran. He takes on the block of Manders, moves off, and there he is to drop Garrison. Along with a little help from Newmoff.
And that is the end of the first half with the score Dallas 3, Detroit nothing.
I spent 15 years behind a desk, copping out. Now I run my own boat. I didn't cop out on myself. I feel the same about smoking. I wouldn't trade real flavor for anything. That's why I smoke Vantage. Vantage doesn't cop out on flavor, and it has 11 milligrams of tar and 0.9 milligrams of nicotine. I waited for what I wanted, and I got it.
Introducing Vantage, the cigarette that doesn't cop out on flavor.
This is where the noise is. And this is where the quiet is. The 1971 Ford LTD. The new Ford LTD is not only one of the strongest, quietest Fords ever, but also the most luxurious. With a beautiful new body frame design that presents a solid barrier against road noise. There is still a lot to be done about the noise out there. But we've already done a lot about the quiet in here. If noise is getting to you, take a quiet break in the 1971 Ford. Ford gives you better ideas.
We'll be ready for the start of today's halftime activities after this pause for station identification.
Helpful Lucy is determined to save Harry from himself and from glamorous Jane Meadows, who guest stars on Here's Lucy Monday night on CBS.
Unquestionably, one of the finest performers of halftime shows in football are the famed Apache Bells, along with the Apache Band from Tyler Junior College in Tyler, Texas. And once again today, the Apache Bells are performing with a routine of the highlights of their 1970 performances. So without further delay, let's hear the Apache Bells.
Presenting highlights from their 1969-70 spectaculars, the Apache Bells step off to the showboat sounds of Swanee. Spotlighting the cavalcade of dance is The Shadow of Your Smile. These young people from Tyler Junior College should be given a big thank you for giving up part of their Christmas holiday to return to Tyler and prepare today's halftime show. Always doing, walking happy. The executive director of the Apache Bells is Mrs. Eva Saunders. Dance director and choreographer Al Gilliam. And band director is Eddie Fowler. To New Orleans now, and those Basin Street Blues. Georgia named her, Georgia claimed her. Sweet Georgia Brown. Spectacular, that Cohan Classic, give my regards to Broadway. The executive director of Dallas Cowboy Entertainment is Mr. Jim Skinner. Another fine performance from the Apache Bells and the Apache Band from Tyler Junior College in Tyler, Texas. A review of their fine performances of the 1970 season. We're almost ready to begin the second half with Detroit kicking to Dallas.
Today's National Football League game is being brought to you by Winston. Pardon our grammar, but Winston tastes good like a cigarette should. And by Schlitz. When you're out of Schlitz, you're out of beer. And by NCR, where more than ever, NCR means computers. And by American Airlines. It's good to know you're on American Airlines. The Detroit Lions-Dallas Cowboys game will continue after this brief intermission.
REA Express rides again. REA Express rides again. REA away. REA Express rides again.
REA Air Express, the fastest delivery of small shipments known to mankind. IOREA away.
There's a computer company that has designed information systems for over 400 kinds of business. NCR. So NCR won't have to learn your business first, nor promise more than a computer can do. Someday your company will talk to one of the most experienced computer companies you know, because now you know. NCR means computers.
Both the Detroit Lions and the Dallas Cowboys are back on the field for the start of the second half, and a superb defensive battle it has been. The Detroit Lions trail the Dallas Cowboys 3-0 on a field goal by Mike Clark. The game has been marked by 3 turnovers, and here was one of the first ones. Craig Morton throwing for Dallas, and the pass was intercepted after being deflected by Mike Weegar, who intercepted, carried the ball back to the Dallas 44, and this was in the first quarter of the game. Detroit had some difficulty moving the ball. Charlie Waters might have been the defensive star of the first half for the Dallas Cowboys. Here Detroit has the ball on the Dallas 44. The quarterback here is Greg Landry, who decides to run. Landry fumbles, and Charlie Waters, number 41, he's a rookie safety from Clemson, picked it up, and he finally got to his own 45-yard line. That led to the only score of the game, a 26-yard field goal by Mike Clark. And Charlie Waters also figured in another one when he recovered a fumble for Dallas. So it's 3-0, and now let's go back upstairs to Frank Lieber.
Both the Cowboys and the Lions ready to get the second half underway. And if you thought this was a defensive battle, boy, you check these statistics here, Frank Gifford, and they really, really are low in terms of total yardage.
I think the big problem for the Cowboys has been Craig Morton. He is not delivering the ball. He is getting better protection. The Detroit Lions are really not doing all the stunning and blitzing that we anticipated. They're moving around a lot, but they end up coming right back to their 4-3. There's Craig Morton. He's had receivers open. He had Reggie Rucker wide open for a touchdown. And I'm sure he is as unhappy as are the 72,000 fans here at the Cotton Bowl.
Cliff Harris on the left of your screen and Mark Washington on the right is Earl Mann. Prepares to kick off for the Lions as we start the second half. Dallas leading 3-0. There's a knuckler bounding at the 15. Waters chasing it. Waters to the 20. And we get several penalty markers thrown as he is dropped at the 24-yard line.
And more than likely, when you see a flag on a kickoff team, it'll go against the team with the football. They had so many more opportunities, such as clipping. And the discussion is with the Detroit Lions by referee Jim Tunney.
Ball is moved back to the 12-yard line, and the indication by Tunney is clipping, half the distance to the goal. So Dallas will put the ball in play, 1st and 10. From its 12-yard line. In the first half, the Cowboys had a total of only 79 yards total offense. The Lions only had 93. Morton, 3 out of 13 in the first half, pitching to Dwayne Thomas. Thomas carries to the 14-yard line. Thomas rushed for 29 yards and 8 carries in the first half. Garrison, 32 yards, also in 8 carries.
So I have the feeling Detroit's going to be a different football team here in the second half. They're an emotional ball club. They've been playing on emotion for 5 weeks, and, well, you can bet in that locker room that they were chit-chatting with each other.
On 2nd and 8, Thomas crossing the 15 to the 17-yard line. It'll be 3rd down. Dallas will still need about 4 for the first down.
And the relay system continues. Tom Landry now sending Pettis Norman as we look at the defensive called by Mike Lucci, the middle linebacker, number 53.
Morton has not completed a pass to a wide receiver. He's hit Garrison twice and Norman once to account for his 3 completions. 3rd and 4 from the 17. Once again, excellent protection. Pettis Norman was the intended receiver. He was dogged over there by number 28, Mike Weegar.
Give you an idea, the use of the tight ends for the Cowboys, number 84 and the other messenger, 89 Mike Ditka. They caught 17 passes between them through the entire season.
Ron Whitby to do the punting. He averaged 44 yards on 4 kicks in the first half. It's a low line drive. Tide takes a Cowboy bounce. Vaughn at the 35-yard line and dropped almost immediately. At the 37, Kiner over there, number 60, along with Claxton Welch, number 42. And the Lions will go to the offense for the first time in the second half, trailing 3-0 from their 37-yard line. Greg Landry has hit 4 out of 8 for 37 yards. He was dropped once attempting to throw. Walton caught 2, Taylor caught 1, Owens caught 1. Far. Cornell Green making the stop at the 41. Pick up a 4. It'll be 2nd and 6.
And if you've been wondering, Detroit Lion fans, where has Charlie Sanders been? He's in the football game. He's getting double coverage almost every time. When he lines up on the wide side by himself with the 2 wide receivers on one side, he gets coverage from Charlie Waters and the cornerback, inside-out coverage. When he, as he is now, he'll get double coverage from number 20, Mel Renfro, and Charlie Waters. That's Sanders, the bottom of your screen for Detroit. 20, Mel Renfro.
Altie Taylor. That's Larry Cole, number 63. The collision at the 40-yard line, a loss of a yard on the play. It'll be 3rd and 7.
And where Greg Landry, who now again is faced with the passing situation, has had his success, has been throwing to his outside receivers. When he puts them both on the same side, he sends them down deep about 14 yards. There's head coach Joe Schmidt in the middle. But he sends his wide receivers down, and they just turn in about 14 yards deep, the cornerbacks, Renfro and Adderley, respecting their speed.
McCullough to the right side, Walton to the left. 3rd and 7 from the 41. Landry trying to hit far. Leroy Jordan with the stop. And the Lions are forced to punt. Dallas now, by holding Detroit scoreless in the first half, has now gone 18 quarters, 4.5 games, the Dallas defense without yielding a touchdown. Mel Renfro, number 20, joined by Bob Hayes, number 22, as Herman Weaver, who averaged 50.8 on 5 kicks in the first half, prepares to punt. Renfro at the 15. 20. A flag is down as Renfro is dropped at the 20-yard line.
Well, again, we'll tell you about those flags. It's usually the team that's trying to run the ball back, usually a clip. Well, that flag went down at the 10. That'll be half the distance to the goal.
The referee, Jim Tunney, marking it off. Second successive clipping penalty on the Dallas Cowboys. They'll have 1st and 10 from their 5-yard line.
Well, Detroit playing this game much more conservatively on defense than we anticipated. This is a good spot to shoot your safety men and your linebackers trying to force the fumble.
Garrison to the 8-yard line for a pickup of 3. Dallas in the first half rushed for 61 yards. The Lions, as we mentioned, lead the league in defense against the rush. They've given up an average of 82 yards per game. 2nd and 7. Cowboys moving from their 8-yard line behind Craig Morton. Thomas on the draw play is close for the first down at the 15.
Dwayne Thomas is going to be very close. And does appear it's just short enough that they will not measure. Head coach Tom Landry, who was noted as a defensive player in his days as a Giant. Well, I can recall one time he played quarterback. Charlie Connolly was injured, and Tom Landry came in against Pittsburgh a few years ago. I'll tell you the score, too. I think the Giants lost 62-14.
You got a good memory. Third and less than a yard, and Thomas has the first down at the 16-yard line. You know, Landry still talks about that game he played quarterback. He got a vicious forearm cutting his lip from guess who? Ernie Stockner, who is now one of his assistants.
Well, it wasn't one of his better days. He's calling it well here today.
Dallas with a 1st and 10 from its 16-yard line, leading 3-0. 9:50 left to play in the third period. Garrison dropping into the slot off to the left, setting up the triple wing. The fake to Thomas. Morton on the bootleg, trying to hit Pettis Norman at the 30-yard line.
Boy, and Paul Newmoff unloaded on Craig Morton just as he delivered that football, and Morton was a little slow getting up.
In 2 weeks, starting Saturday, January 9th, the 8th annual CBS Golf Classic with $225,000 in prize money gets underway. Players such as Bruce Devlin, Dave Hill, Bruce Crampton, Sam Snead, Frank Beard, Gene Littler, and many others will compete in this team best ball match play tournament every Saturday for 16 weeks. 2nd and 10. Thomas to the 20, to the 25, and Dwayne Thomas has another first down for the Dallas Cowboys at the 27-yard line. Walker, number 55, was over there along with Dick LeBeau, 44.
Watch the right guard, number 61. That's Blaine Nye leading this attack along with 76, John Nyland. Both guards turning up. Good block by Nye against 74. That would be Larry Hand, and Thomas does his thing. That is, breaks tackles.
Little breathing room now for Dallas from their 27-yard line after being backed up to the 5. Thomas to the 30, to the 31-yard line. Pick up a 4 on that play. Newmoff, number 50, tripped him up. 73,167. That's standing room only here at the Cotton Bowl this afternoon for this NFC divisional playoff.
I'll tell you, one of the reasons the Lions are not jumping around as they did so much during the season is the fact that Dallas, while they're not spectacular, they are moving the ball on the ground. And this makes it tough to start jumping around. You have to play your position when a team runs against you.
Thomas on 2nd and 6 to the 35. A flag is thrown as Thomas is cracked out of bounds by Mike Weger at the 42-yard line. Bring it back.
Well, the accusing finger was pointed at number 89, Mike Ditka. Either that or he was just arguing the overall call. There's Big Mike. We won't try and speculate as to what that might have been. We'll tell you it's a big one.
That's the third major penalty against Dallas in this half, which is some 7 minutes old. Tripping. That'll move it back to the 15-yard line. Dallas has to net the 37 for the first down.
And if the Lions ever are going to come with their safety blitz, well, you couldn't find a better time to do it. 2nd and 22. You've got them in trouble already. Now you can compound it if you can get them with the blitz.
Morton on the draw to Thomas, to the 20, to the 25. Thomas is up to the 27-yard line.
Good call by Tom Landry. This is Mike Lucci playing the middle. He didn't go. Newmoff, the left side linebacker, shot. Good block in there by 61, or rather 51, Dave Manders, the center, and Thomas shortens it by 12 yards. 3rd and 10. Rucker to the left. He's covered out there by Dick LeBeau. Hayes in the slot, covered by Vaughn.
Morton throwing. The blitz is on. Rucker couldn't reach it. Dick LeBeau covering as the pass was overthrown. And Morton, continuing to have his problems, is only 3 out of 16 for 18 yards.
Fine defensive play by Dick LeBeau. He bumped the rookie, Reggie Rucker, his first year out of Boston. Bumped him a couple of times, then backed off, and that had thrown Rucker off stride.
Tommy Vaughn and Len Barney are the deep men. Whitby. Nice kick. Barney at the 25. 30. Up to the 32-yard line and ripped down at that point by number 43, Cliff Harris, along with D.D. Lewis, number 50. With the score, Dallas 3, Detroit nothing. Let's pause for a moment.
I've been waiting a good many years for some U.S. manufacturer to make a small car, just like the Pinto.
For Art Kiesling, the waiting is over. Ford's new Pinto is here.
It handles like a sports car almost. In fact, I would say probably handles just as well as a good many of them. There's a lot more room inside the car than it would appear when you look at it from the outside. I'm 6 foot, and I find no trouble at all getting in and out. Just got gas last night. We're up to 28.5 on a gallon. I think that's pretty good. My friendly dealer plays dirty pool because he put plates on it and he made me drive it, and that was the clincher right there. The way I feel about the car now after driving it a while is you can do anything but hurt me dear old mother, insult my country, or try to take my Pinto away.
People who used to buy little imports now have a new idea. Pinto, a little better idea from Ford.
The Detroit Lions ready to put the ball in play from their 33-yard line. Greg Landry making his second appearance in the Cotton Bowl. He played the first game of his rookie year here against the Dallas Cowboys. After Bill Munson was injured in the final preseason game, Dallas won it 59-13. That was back in 1968. Landry going to loosen it up. The big rush was put on by Jethro Pugh, number 75, who forced Landry off balance.
Boy, Landry dodged a bullet. Pugh who had looped on the left side with Larry Cole, had a straight run at Landry. Now he is in a position where the Cowboys like to blitz, second and long yardage. Cowboys, not a big blitzing team, but this is the down where they like to blitz if they're going to.
Chuck Hughes replaces Walton at a wide receiver on 2nd and 16 from the 26. Farr on the draw. Got a couple of yards. A scramble for the football, which apparently was knocked loose, but the Lions recovered it at about the 28-yard line for a gain of 1, perhaps 2 yards. That'll set up 3rd down. Detroit still needs 15 for the first down. And Mel Farr, 2 weeks removed from a slight shoulder dislocation, playing with a specially constructed harness. And he's been a workhorse this afternoon. He's carried 10 times, more than any other Lion, for 27 yards. 3rd and 15 from the 28. For McCullough. Mel Renfro was covering.
Take a look at that again. There were a lot of oohs and ahs here in the Cotton Bowl because most of these fans thought that Renfro had interfered with McCullough. You'll watch Renfro, pretty good little veteran player. He's playing the ball, though. The ball well overthrown, 4th down, and the star, one of the stars of this game, comes on to do the punting.
You're looking at Hayes and Renfro from bottom to top as Herman Weaver prepares to punt for the Lions.
I say stars because they provided most of the action. Whitby and Weaver.
Low snap. Nice high kick. Renfro at the 22-yard line. 25. Back to the 20, and he is dropped at the 18-yard line. Took him a while to go down. 52 for the Lions is Bill Cottrell. 62 Ed Mooney having a hand in the stop. With the score, Dallas 3, Detroit nothing. Let's pause for a moment.
There's a computer company that has designed information systems for over 400 kinds of business. NCR. So NCR won't have to learn your business first, nor promise more than a computer can do. Someday your company will talk to one of the most experienced computer companies you know, because now you know. NCR means computers.
A treasure hunt isn't a kid's game when you're living and your life depends on it. Sharks don't play games, so you're always ready. Because you know one chance in life is all you get. That's why you grab for all the gusto you can. Even in the beer you drink, why settle for less? When you're out of Schlitz, you're out of beer.
Five minutes, 55 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Dallas leading 3-0. Cowboys first and 10 from their 17. Double wing setup. The give to Dwayne Thomas. Lucci making the stop about at the line of scrimmage. Well, some of the Cowboy cheerleaders.
They want him to go, but neither team can do much of anything.
Thomas has carried 16 times for 69 yards. Second and 9 from the 18. Rucker to the left side, Hayes to the right.
And I think Dave Mann, who's the center, just forgot the count. It didn't come up with the football. He's going to try and convince the officials that Detroit had made some sort of illegal maneuver. You saw Craig Morton backing out of there. He fully expected to have the ball in his hands.
Illegal procedure is the call by the referee Jim Tunney. That sets up 2nd and 15 for Dallas. Call it 2nd and 14. It's Bobby Williams, number 45 of the Lions, having his leg attended to. Morton 3 out of 16 for 18 yards, and yet his team leads in this football game 3-0. Thomas was the intended receiver. He was hit by Newmoff, number 50. A rare experience awaits you next week. 2 trips to opposite poles of the earth to see how animals there have adapted to some of the hardest environments known. Fantastic footage of wild underwater battles is just one of the highlights of this fascinating special entitled Adventure, the Frozen World of Seals and Walrus. Wednesday night at 7:30, 6:30 Central Time.
And with 3rd and 15, Tom Landry sent in player coach Dan Reeves. That's number 30.
Dallas operating from its 13-yard line. Morton. It's Hayes at the 32, and he's got the first down. That is the first pass that Morton has completed to a wide receiver this afternoon. Hayes got rocked pretty good, and he is hurt and limping off the field, looks like. He'll be replaced by Dennis Holman, number 24. Dallas with a 1st and 10 from its 33-yard line. Just over 4 minutes left to play in the third period. Thomas sees the hole closed to the inside, breaks to the outside, caught by Uyghur at the 39-yard line, but not before he picked up 7 yards. Good job of running the daylight by Dwayne Thomas, the Cowboys' #1 draft pick, and certainly a strong contender for the National Conference Rookie of the Year. Joe Schmidt getting a little impatient.
What a great football player he was. One of those linebackers who liked to come on that blitz. He wasn't big, only weighed about 210.
On 2nd and 3, Thomas behind Blaine Nye has the first down at the 43-yard line.
Take a look at Paul Newmoff. He'll fight off the block of Pettis Norman. Norman this time moving the inside. That's Rayfield Wright. Look at the agility of Newmoff. Blaine Nye missing. Newmoff isn't big. He's 6'1", 215 pounds. Mighty quick.
Dallas first and 10 from its 43. Holman wide to the left side. Rucker a couple of steps wide to the right. Garrison to the 50, to the 46-yard line of Detroit, 11 yards. Another Dallas first down.
And Dallas really picking up their rushing game now. Let's take a look at this again. Just straight out blocking. 61 is nice. 70's Rayfield right. Downfield, Reggie Rucker. Well, we won't call it a block, but not a bad screen. Another first down, and this has got to be hurting Detroit because no team has been able to run against the Lions as the Cowboys are today.
Holman and Rucker both wide to the right side. Morton gives it to Thomas. He gets a yard to the 45 as the Lions defense stiffens. Lucci, number 53, 74. Larry Hand over there along with Jim Mitchell, 83.
And that's head coach Tom Landry sending in his messenger, number 89, Mike Ditka. Dennis Norman comes to the bench. Landry must be just a little disappointed. I'm sure he prepared all week for more blitzes than the Lions are showing today.
2nd and 9 from the Lion 45. Garrison, a yard to the 44. Once again, Hand, number 74 in there. Dallas now with a 3rd and 8. Hayes checks back into the lineup along with Dan Reeves. Holman comes out of the ball game. So does Dwayne Thomas on the obvious passing situation. There's Greg Landry of the Lions looking on. Number 12 there next to him is the Lions field goal kicker Errol Mann. 3rd and 8. Dallas from the Detroit 44. Hayes in motion. The blitz is on. Newmoff has got Morton, and Morton is dropped at the 41-yard line of Dallas. A loss of 14 yards on that play.
Let's take a look at Newmoff, bottom of your screen, number 50. Nobody there to pick him up. When you fake the draw play, your back, who ordinarily would pick up the linebacker, has to carry out the fake. And you see the results. Newmoff with that great quickness.
Dallas has a 4th and 22 now. Barney on the right of your screen there, and Vaughn left. Whitby punting. Barney at the 20-yard line, hit by Mark Washington, number 46, East 77. And Richmond Flowers, number 45, at the 20-yard line. 50 seconds left to play in the 3rd period. With the score, Dallas 3, Detroit nothing. Let's pause for a moment.
This is a broadcast about life, not about death. And appearances to the contrary, this sea, these waters, and these ice flows are teeming with life.
Charles Kuralt is the reporter on a journey to the edges of the earth, the harshest environment ever known. Share in this great adventure, the frozen world of seals and walrus. Wednesday, December 30th at 7:30, 6:30 Central Time.
New Year's Day, excitement starts early on CDS. At 10 a.m., 9 Central, 7 Pacific Time, a preview of the Tournament of Roses Parade. Then the Southwest's greatest spectacle, the eye-filling Cotton Bowl Parade. Next, the dazzling Tournament of Roses Parade from Pasadena. Then the top bowl game of the day, Notre Dame versus Texas in the Cotton Bowl. Enjoy the great events of the great day starting at 10 a.m., 9 Central, 7 Pacific Time.
The venerable Alex Karras on the sidelines looking on and hoping that the Lion offense now does its share of the job. 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line following Whitby's punt. Landry drills the pass over the middle to Walton at the 30-yard line, a pickup of 10 yards. That should be enough for a Detroit first down. Larry Walton, who missed a good portion of the second half of the season with an ankle injury. In 2 weeks, starting January 10th, National Hockey League action returns to the CBS television network every Sunday afternoon through the conclusion of the Stanley Cup playoffs. You'll see all the great teams and individual stars. 1st and 10, Detroit from its 31-yard line. Landry trying to set up the screen. In trouble. Gets away from Cole. Chased by Pugh. And run out of bounds at the 35. Dropped the football. And Charlie Sanders was there to fall on it. He just dropped it and went out of bounds. It was there for the whole world.
Hey, you see Jethro Pugh bearing down. It's not a bad idea to leave it there.
The gun sounds. That's the end of the third quarter with the score Dallas 3, Detroit nothing. We now pause for station identification.
Bobby Gentry is accompanied by the Goose Creek Symphony when she guest stars on tomorrow night's Ed Sullivan Show on CBS.
Three minutes toss and had 15-minute quarters.
Well, no, the winning coach, maybe even the quarterback. I don't know. The middle linebackers. We got to think in terms of sudden death too. See, I know you are. I say you are. Very crowded up here. Hard to get out.
Into the final period of play we go. Detroit 2nd and 7 from its 33. Far to the 35-yard line, a pickup of 2 yards. That'll set up third down. Lions will still need 5 for the first down.
Here's Bob Lilly. He's sort of Alex Karras' counterpart, fighting off the block there of Chuck Walton. Getting through, along with Chuck Howley to help out on that tackle. And you get the feeling everyone here in the Cotton Bowl is waiting for something to happen. I know I am. Both teams doing well defensively, literally nothing offensively. I'll remind you that in the event of a tie, which is a very good possibility, this game will go on to sudden death.
3rd and 5. Lions from their 35. Cowboys had the blitz working. Chuck Hughes was the intended receiver with Renfro covering, and Cornell Green came blowing through from his strong safety position.
Boy, and there's something you don't see often, the tight safety on the blitz. Ordinarily, he is assigned to cover that tight end. Cowboys not a big blitzing team, so you don't really anticipate it. Deep. Now Renfro's 20. 22, of course, is Bob Hayes.
Weaver doing the punting on 4th and 5. Hayes signals for the fair catch, lets it bounce. It takes a Dallas roll and will be down at the 23-24 line.
I wonder how Bob Hayes knew that ball was going to bounce that way. They never do.
You saw a Cowboy linebacker, D.D. Lewis, pick it up at the 15, but the ball had been touched by a Lion at the 23, so it is dead at that point. Next Friday, New Year's Day, CBS brings you the #1 college bowl game, Texas and Notre Dame, right here in the Cotton Bowl at 1:45 Eastern Time. Morton wants a little quiet from the 73,000 plus here. Gives to Thomas behind John Nyland. Thomas bulls his way to the 28-yard line. Close to 5. It'll be 2nd and 5, Dallas. Thomas now has reached the 80-yard mark in rushing. 20 carries. And a Lion shaken up on that play. It's Wayne Walker, the right side linebacker, who is down in the field.
He was the one that was blocked by John Nyland as Nyland came around leading the play.
Well, this guy's had some kind of career. He has played more games in a Detroit uniform than any other player in Lions history.
He's been there a while, 13 years.
He was chasing you around, wasn't he?
He's been on top of this little body many times. He's having trouble with his knee.
Walker played his college football in Idaho. There's Mel Renfro getting a breather for the Cowboys. Mel was named to the Pro Bowl the other day. Looks like he's in some sort of a problem down there. Cowboy team position, talking things over with him.
Walker appears to be okay. Ed Mooney has replaced Walker at the right side linebacking position. And you can see Walker probably wants to get back in there.
2nd and 5. Dallas from the 28-yard line. Thomas gets a good block from Garrison and is close for the first down at the 34.
And Mike Lucci right there again. Let's look at him again. And Thomas is really a difficult man to bring down. Look at Lucci. He plays off this block of Manders, number 51, trying to block Lucci, and times out that tackle perfectly. Still the first down for the Cowboys. I have an idea they're surprising the Lions with their ability to move the ball on the ground, even though they do not even come close to threatening to score.
Dallas 1st and 10 from its 34. Leading 3-0. Thomas going outside to the 40. Up to the 45-yard line. Out of bounds at the 48. That's another Dallas first down. And that'll put Thomas over 100 yards rushing for the day.
Watch number 73. That's Ralph Neely, the left tackle. He's out in front of this. And the Cowboys wasted little or no time attacking the vacated spot by Wayne Walker. Ed Mooney is chasing. He's number 62. I would have to speculate that that would have been his assignment to turn that sweep back to the inside.
Cowboys 1st and 10 from their 47-yard line. Garrison to the 50, to the 46 of Detroit. A loose football. And let's see. It is recovered by the Cowboys. Dallas ball at the 46-yard line, and the play had been whistled dead. Ditka over to the sidelines to confer with Landry about play selection. Pickup of 7 on that last play. 2nd and 3. Dallas now from the Lion 47. Hayes in motion. Garrison driving for the first down to the 44-yard line. It'll be close. We pause 5 seconds for station identification. Frank Lieber with Frank Gifford and Dick Stockton in the Cotton Bowl. Craig Morton looking over the situation here, as we'll have a measurement. The referee is Jim Tunney. Winner of this game, of course, meets the winner of the San Francisco-Minnesota game. Dallas that much short of the first down, with 3rd down coming up. There's no way of telling yet where the championship game is going to be played in the NFC. That's Herman Weaver has done such a great job punting the football for Detroit this afternoon.
Boy, he's been busy, too. He's kicked the ball 7 times. 51 yards, 51 yards, 57, 61 yards, 44, 51 yards.
3rd and 1 from the Lions 43. Thomas to the 40, to the 35. Last man with a shot at him was number 48, Tom Vaughn, who saved the touchdown as Dallas picks up the first down at the 28.
Boy, if the Cowboys go on to win this, they should cut the ball up and give it to these guards. Watch Blaine Nye, 61. He'll be putting the blast on Lem Barney, and it's tough for a big man to block a little man downfield, but look at him do it. Dwayne Thomas playing it beautifully. The Cowboys continue to run.
Thomas now with 119 yards rushing and 23 carries. First down from the Detroit 28. Garrison Inside the 25, down to the 22. Wayne Walker is back in the ball game for the Lions. Number 28, Uyghur, in on the stop along with Newmoff, number 50.
What a good call by the quarterback, Tom Landry, sending in Mike Ditka, faking. They've been using the pitch out. That time they faked it. And when Jerry Rush, the defensive tackle for the Lions, went out, they came with Blaine Nye, trapped him, and moved for 7 yards.
Dallas now has 180 yards rushing. Lions have averaged giving up just 82 yards per game. On 2nd and 3, Thomas. He'll be close for the first down once again at the 18-yard line.
Let's watch Newmoff on this. We told you they lined their linebackers in funny positions. This time Newmoff way to the inside. That play was designed to go inside with Newmoff in there. They moved to the outside, and Newmoff made the tackle. And again, we're going to be close enough for the measurement. Referee Jim Tunney says bring it in.
This drive started back at the 23-yard line. And right now, the way this game is going, a touchdown would look awful big. It's been some kind of defensive battle. 9 minutes, 51 seconds left to play in the ball game. Dallas with a 1st and 10 from the Detroit 18. You can see what Craig Morton was doing during that timeout. Don't forget, tomorrow CBS brings you the other NFC playoff game, San Francisco and Minnesota. Television broadcast starts at 12:30 Eastern Time, and the winner of that game to meet the winner of this one in the NFC Championship game a week from tomorrow. Garrison down to the 9-yard line. A pickup of 9 yards. It'll be 2nd and 1.
Look at it again. Again, Blaine Nye, number 61, Rayfield Wright, 70, the tackle with fine blocks, opening a big hole for Garrison. Nye that time on Mitchell. Rayfield Wright on Karras.
2nd and 1 from the 9. Garrison trying to pick up the first down at the 8. Garrison now has 70 yards rushing in 16 carries. Cowboys have 192 yards on the ground.
And again, we'll keep reminding you that the Detroit Lions are the #1 team in the National Football Conference against the rush. And they are having the best part of their game broken down.
3rd down, less than a yard for the first down from the 9-yard line. Thomas has the first down at the 5. Harris, number 71, along with Newmoff, number 50.
Look at it again. Manders, the center. 61 again, Nye with a big block on Karras. Nye just burying Karras. And Thomas squirming and twisting. He always gets the extra 2 or 3 yards.
Hayes to the left side, Rucker to the right. The give is to Thomas. He is to the 3. It'll be 2nd and goal from that point. You know, the way Thomas has been going for the Cowboys in the second half of the season, there's really a forgotten man on this Dallas team. And that's Calvin Hill, who was Rookie of the Year last year, who is now healthy and just can't get back into the lineup.
Calvin Hill has contributed his part, though, even hurt during the season. He picked up 577 yards, and Blaine Thomas, this is the 6th time this season that he's gone over 100 yards rushing.
2nd and goal from the 3. Thomas to the 1-yard line. It'll be 3rd and goal from the 1.
And boy, does he use those guards beautifully. 76 is John Nyland, the left guard. Watch him pull now, 76. Now watch Thomas. He's right on his tail. Blaine Nye cutting off the pursuit behind number 61. Look at this block against LeBeau. And then Thomas just breaking it back to the inside.
Morton will have Garrison 32, Thomas 33 behind him as running backs on 3rd and goal from the 1. Little mix-up there in the Cowboy offensive backfield. Garrison gets the call. Tries to fight over. Did he make it? No indication yet.
And it does not appear that he did make it. And what a decision head coach Tom Landry is going to have to make on the sidelines. Do we kick the field goal? Or do we go for the touchdown? And even though we don't make it, leave him down there. Let's look at that again. Mike Wigger's up there, number 28. Lucci. The great football player Mike Lucci is. And there will be no field goal attempt. Bob Hayes came off the bench. And on 4th down and about a foot, the Cowboys are going for the touchdown.
Thomas did not make it. The Lions hold at the 1-yard line.
And what a big play that may turn out to be. I think it was Neumoff, number 50, who made the key stop. Mitchell goes down, number 83. Wigger there, number 28, but I think Neumoff had shot.
With the score, Dallas 3, Detroit nothing. Let's pause for a moment.
Here's the only place I know of where you get a second chance in life. The International Date Line. Cross it, and you get to spend yesterday all over again. That's worth celebrating, with all the gusto you can grab, even in the beer you drink. Why settle for less? When you're out of Schlitz, you're out of beer.
Springtime, it happens every Salem. Springtime, it happens every Salem.
Natural menthol, not the artificial kind. That's why Salem tastes springtime soft, springtime fresh. It's only natural.
Springtime, yeah, it happens every Salem.
Head coach Tom Landry of the Cowboys, he is not happy at all as his team gives up the football on the 2-yard line. Detroit, 1st and 10. A little over 6 minutes left to play in the ball game. Alty Taylor to the line of scrimmage and no more. He was stacked up by Larry Cole, number 63. 2nd and 10 from the 2.
I think what Tom Landry was upset about was not so much missing the touchdown. There was a foul up on that 4th down play. And he was trying to find out what in the world happened. There's Tom Landry's counterpart, Joe Schmidt, across the way. We're getting down to the short strokes of this one.
Chuck Hughes replaces Walton at a wide receiver for the Lions. 2nd and 10. Maybe a yard at most for Mel Farr. Again, Cole in there, along with Lilly and Leroy Jordan. Here's Craig Morton, who has hit only 4 out of 18 passes for 38 yards, and his team is winning this football game with a little over 5 minutes to go.
Well, I don't know what kind of a call you'd come up with here. You have a 3rd and 9 situation. You're going to have to throw from your end zone if you're going to pass. You can anticipate tremendous pass rush. And this one came from the bench. Let's see what Joe Schmidt wanted.
Landry caught in the end zone. A safety. Landry is crept in the end zone for a safety, and Dallas leads 5-0.
Well, we'll try and pick up the first one for you from ground level. Bob Lilly moving to the inside. Jethro Pugh, 75. They crisscross. And coming from the outside, George Andre. He misses, but Jethro Pugh cinches it. 2 points, and what a big 2 points they are.
And, of course, the Lions now with a free kick will have to give up the ball again with 4:45 left to play.
Boy, it's altogether fitting and proper, I think, that the defensive team gets some points.
With the score, Dallas 5, Detroit nothing. Let's pause for a moment.
Mr. Big Breeze is howling, howling around. Mr. Big Breeze is prowling like a hungry hound. He can stop your car quick as you please if you don't do something about gasoline freeze.
Now there's de-icer in American regular and in lead-free Amoco gasolines.
My advice, get de-icer, guard against that gasoline freeze. My advice, stay with de-icer, forget about that gasoline freeze.
Moisture from the air can settle in your gas line, freeze, and block your gasoline flow. De-icer neutralizes moisture, prevents gas line freeze down to 40 below.
My advice, get de-icer, forget about that gas line freeze.
The American Oil Company.
Mel Renfro and Bob Hayes awaiting the free kick by Herman Weaver of the Lions following the safety as Landry was trapped for the third time this afternoon. I guess you'd have to say now chances are pretty good we won't have sudden death with the score 5-0.
And the big job, of course, for Detroit is going to be to stop that running game. Dallas being able to control the ball all through the third and the fourth period.
Very high kick. Hayes at the 30-yard line. 35, 40. Bob Hayes to the 44.
You hear that conversation already in the huddle. It's called hang on to the football because the Lions are going to be going for that football, trying to jar the fumble loose. First man will make sure the tackle. The second man in on the pile is going to be going after the football.
Thomas with Nyland out in front to the 46-yard line, a pickup of 2 yards. It'll be 2nd and 8.
There's Greg Landry on the sidelines. He'll have, at this point at least, 3 timeouts to work with. It's almost imperative for the Detroit defense to stop the Cowboys from picking up a first down. 3:55 and the clock moving.
Officials mark the ball at the Dallas 45, 2nd and 9. Thomas up the middle to the 48-yard line. That'll set up 3rd and 7.
And Pettis Norman will bring the 3rd and 7 call from Tom Landry into the Cowboy huddle. Wayne Walker, of course, back in the game.
Just a little over 3 minutes left to play in this ball game, and the clock is moving. Dallas from its 47-yard line. 3rd and 7. Morton sends Hayes in motion. To the 50-yard line. Morton is to the 47-yard line. He is a yard away from a first down at the Detroit 47. Lucci, number 53, makes the stop. Clock keeps rolling along with 2 minutes and 50 seconds left to play. And Dallas will be forced to cough up the football, and the Lions will have one last shot at it.
And the Lions will have 3 timeouts remaining. They'll also have the 2-minute warning working for them.
Lem Barney, number 20. The deep man. The short man is Tommy Vaughn. Ron Whitby to do the punting. Barney lets this one land at the 5 and go on in for the touchback. So the Lions will bring it out to the 20-yard line with 2 minutes and 18 seconds left to play in the ball game. And Dallas leading 5-0. With the score, Cowboys 5, Lions nothing. Let's pause for a moment.
Grab for the gusto while the grabbing's good. The ocean teaches you that. If you don't set sail when the tide goes out,
the tide goes out without you. A man's life is no different. You only go around once, so you gotta grab for all the gusto you can, even in the beer you drink. Why settle for less? When you're out of Schlitz, you're out of beer.
The Detroit Lions have their work cut out for them. 2:18 left to play. They have a 1st and 10 from their 20-yard line. Bill Munson, number 19, has come into the ball game at quarterback for the first time this afternoon. Razzle-dazzle with Larry Walton winding up with the football. He is caught by Chuck Howley at the 26-yard line. He picked up 6. That stops the clock with 2:11 left to play in the game.
They've talked a lot about linebackers today, but Chuck Howley was not fooled by that play at all. 12 years in the league. He just waited in his area, and he was about the only Cowboy around that could have made the play. What a spot to bring Bill Munson into the football game.
McCullough to the right side, Walton to the left. 2nd and 4 from the 26. Far. Lilly. Dave Edwards. Cornell Green making the stop at the line of scrimmage. We've got a timeout called here. Well, no, it's official timeout. The clock will now roll to the 2-minute warning, which comes up right now.
That, of course, was the reasoning for that call. Bill Munson knew that he would have the clock stopped for him with the 2-minute warning, so he was not afraid to try and pick up the first down running.
In addition to tomorrow's NFC playoff game, CBS will bring you 2 other NFL postseason games. Next Sunday, January 3rd, the 2 winners of this weekend's playoffs meet for the National Football Conference Championship. And then on Sunday, January 24th, CBS will bring you the AFC-NFC Pro Bowl game from Los Angeles at 3:30 Eastern Time. Well, the Lions are going to try to score a touchdown and win this football game against a team that has not yielded a touchdown in its last 19 quarters and 13 minutes.
And their immediate problem, as Munson comes back from his conference with head coach Joe Schmidt, is a first down. They have 2 downs to pick up 3 downs because at this point in the game, a 4th down doesn't mean anything.
D.D. Lewis, number 50, moves into the Cowboy linebacking core, replacing Dave Edwards. As we head back to play, Lions have a 3rd and 3 from their 27-yard line, trailing 5-0. Mike Clark with a 26-yard field goal in the first quarter, and the safety you saw a few moments ago, providing all the scoring. Munson dumps it out to Altie Taylor at the 32-yard line. He's got the first down, but did not get out of bounds, so the clock keeps moving.
And Detroit, with 3 timeouts remaining, go back into the huddle. Surprisingly, they did not call 2 plays in their huddle. As they continue to use time, the clock is running at 1:30.
Hughes is wide to the right side. 1st and 10, Detroit from its 32. Munson. For McCullough. He couldn't hold it. Covered by Mel Renfro, and he had Renfro beat.
And had he held on to that football, no matter whether he came down inbounds or not, it would have been complete, because you do not have to come down inbounds with 2 feet if you have a defender in contact with you.
There's the time remaining, 1 minute and 20 seconds, 2nd and 10. Greg Landry watching from the sidelines now in the waning moments of this ball game.
Well, I know that must make him sick, but what a fine performer he's been for the past 5 games. 61% completion.
He's 5 out of 12 today for 48 yards. 2nd and 10. Lions from their 32 with 1:20 left. Munson hit as he threw the football. The pass was intended for Charlie Sanders, the fine tight end of the Detroit Lions, who, by the way, has not caught a ball this afternoon.
Oh, and he had to get rid of that football. Let's take a look at it again. He had time to throw the ball in 2.5 seconds at least. The receivers were covered. Now watch Jethro Pugh, number 75. Well, outweighs Munson about 1.5 tons. Just level him.
It is 3rd and 10 for Detroit. Lions still with 3 timeouts remaining from their 32, once again faced with the prospects of picking up a first down. Munson with good protection. Farr was cutting across the middle. The pass was over his head. It'll be 4th and 10 for the Lions from their 32. And it has come down to this for Detroit.
This could be the final play for the Detroit Lions this season. And as Bill Munson ponders the situation, it is a grim one. I'd just like to say what a fine job that Joe Schmidt has done with this football team. They had to win 5 in a row just for an outside chance of getting into the playoffs, and they came up with those 5 in a row.
Munson 1 out of 4 since he's come into the ball game, sending Taylor in motion. On 4th down, this is it. McCullough made the catch at the 29-yard line. First down for the Lions.
Wow, what a clutch catch by Earl McCullough. He's at the top of your screen. He's covered by Mel Renfro. Double covered. As a matter of fact, as Cornell Green also comes over to help cover. And somehow or other, between the 2 defenders, he comes down with the football.
The Lions now use a timeout, the first of their 3 allotted timeouts. They have 2 remaining, as they now have moved to the 29-yard line of Dallas, and I believe that's Detroit's deepest penetration of the afternoon.
They have done nothing offensively. They have played a whale of a defensive game, keeping Dallas from scoring a touchdown, but they still trail by 5. 59 seconds remain. They have 2 timeouts remaining. And you'd have to almost speculate that Munson will be thinking now of working to his outside receivers. Charlie Sanders, who led them in receptions with 40 on the season, has been getting double coverage all day long, inside out from the safety man and the cornerback. Farr has come back into the lineup. He's also a fine receiver. Boy, there's some butterflies jumping around and some stomachs out there now.
McCullough to the left side, Walton to the right. 1st and 10 from the 29 of Dallas. For McCullough, he was out of bounds. Renfro was over there covering. 53 seconds left to play in the game. Earl McCullough gave it the old try. There's the time remaining. Dallas leading 5-0. Tom Landry.
What do you suppose is going on in that mine? And this mine. This is Joe Schmidt. Tom Landry, who has brought the Cowboys to 5 times to the playoffs. 2 great games against Green Bay, 66 and 67. Then beaten by the Cleveland Browns the 2 following years. And it's all boiled down to this.
2nd and 10 from the Dallas 29. 53 seconds left. Munson in trouble, gets it away. Alty Taylor was the intended receiver, but Munson really got the rush and had to unload it before he wanted to.
Again, Jethro Pugh, George Andre, Larry Cole, and had he had just a fraction more time, he could have got that ball to Taylor. Now he gets a little help from the bench.
Chuck Hughes, number 85, replaces Chuck Walton, or rather Larry Walton, at the wide receiver for Detroit. 47 seconds. 3rd and 10 from the Dallas 29. Hughes to the right side. McCullough to the left. Munson. Intercepted by Renfro. Mel Renfro to the 15-yard line. Across the 20 to the 25.
Boy, there's a little excitement down in the field right now. Look at it again. Munson on a 3rd and 10, firing hard to McCullough, who one-hands it. The ball goes in the air, and Mel Renfro one-hands it, but he holds on to it. Mel Renfro, what a clutch play.
Charlie Waters was shaken up on that play, number 41, leaving the field. 35 seconds left, and it would now appear that the Dallas Cowboys are in the NFC Championship game for the 3rd time in 5 years. Craig Morton, the quarterback, completed just 4 out of 18 passes for 38 yards in this ball game.
I think they'd have to maybe give the game ball to the quarterback, Tom Landry. And the offensive line, John Nyland, Blaine Nye, Dave Manders, Rayfield Wright, Ralph Neely. What a job they've done in enabling the Cowboy runners to move the ball against a team that is the best at stopping running in the National Football Conference. Dwayne Thomas, 132 yards. Garrison with 70 yards.
In case you're wondering now, as far as the championship game is concerned, if Minnesota beats San Francisco tomorrow, the NFC Championship game will be right here in Dallas. Should San Francisco win that game tomorrow, the NFC Championship game would be in San Francisco. Right now, only one thing appears to be virtually certain, and that's that the Dallas Cowboys are going to be in it. Morton just electing to hang on to the football. Now, the Lions have 2 timeouts left. They'll use one here to stop the clock with 30 seconds remaining.
I don't think Tom Landry's sure he has this thing in the bag yet. You see the guards. Morton will do the same thing. Letting the quarterback sneak in. You saw Blaine Nye, number 61, turn around from his guard position, just plop himself right on top of Landry. That's to keep any mad lion pulling at the football.
2nd and 11. Dallas with the ball at its 24-yard line. 30 seconds left to play in the ball game. Lions with 1 timeout left. Once again, Morton drops to the turf with the football. And Detroit can stop that clock one more time. They haven't done it. That's going to be it. Fans chanting off the final seconds. An amazing comeback by the Dallas Cowboys, who were 2 games out of first place in their division with only 4 games left to play in the regular season. They came back to win 5 in a row, to win the division outright, and now have beaten the Detroit Lions 5-0 with the aid of a great Dallas defense, which has now gone 20 quarters, 5 full football games, without giving up a touchdown. Dallas, in fact, has yielded just 15 points and 1 touchdown in the last 5 games, and the 1 touchdown was on a Dallas offensive miscue when a Houston Oiler ran the ball in for a score last Sunday. That's the end of the ball game. The final score, Dallas 5, Detroit 0. We'll be back at the Cotton Bowl in just a moment.
Quiet, children. Mother wants to pack up her favorite slender tip cigarettes.
I thought I spotted them. Those yellow flip-top cigarettes perched there on the shelf.
In this fancy, frilly, you gotta have a gimmick world, there's one cigarette that doesn't go along.
Pack of Camel filters.
We're not about to hide our kind of easy taste behind some gimmick. Camel filters. They're not for everybody, but then they don't try to be.
Welcome to American Airlines, sir.
You have a nice nose.
Sir. Beautiful nose. Excuse me, sir. Your baggage has been checked through to Los Angeles, sir. Gate 7.
Number 7. That's gate number 7.
We've made flying American Airlines so simple. All you have to do is drive up to our doorstep. So when you have other things on your mind, it's good to know you're on American Airlines.
A few statistical highlights as this sellout crowd of 73,000 files out of the Cotton Bowl. Dwayne Thomas carried 30 times this afternoon for 132 yards. Walt Garrison, 17 carries for 70 yards. Morton, 4 out of 18 for 38 yards. Landry had 5 out of 12 for 48. Munson, 2 out of 8 for 54. And the Lions' leading rusher was Mel Farr with 13 carries for 32 yards. So that's the story. Now we take you to Dick Stockton in CBS Control for Pro Football Report.
Thank you, Frank Lieber, and a superb football game it was, 5-0. A couple of weeks ago, the Dallas Cowboys won in another baseball score type game, 6-2 over the Cleveland Browns. They won in the mud in Cleveland. They had to win that one. They had to win their last game of the season against Houston. This has been the story of the Dallas Cowboys of 1970, and one of the teams, the Lions or the Cowboys, had to win that 6th in a row today. It was Dallas in a thrilling game, 3-0 going into the final period, and then of course the Cowboys gambled. They didn't make it, but of course they trapped Greg Landry in the end zone for a safety to make it 5-0. Bill Munson took over for the Lions and drove the team down. Earl McCullough made an exceptionally clutch catch deep in Dallas territory. It was probably the deepest penetration of the day for the Lions to about the 29-yard line, but the key play that ended it all was an interception at the end, and there was more than just the interception. Here is Bill Munson going back to throw. It's deflected off of the arm of Earl McCullough and intercepted by Mel Renfro, number 20. And after this play was over, Earl McCullough took off his helmet and he threw it hard to the artificial turf. Despair for the Detroit Lions. It was that kind of a game. We have a room full of Dallas Cowboys. We have Bob Lilly. We have Henry Jordan. Leroy Jordan. We have the quarterback Craig Morton. We have Dwayne Thomas, who gained over 130 yards today. And of course, the winning head coach, Tom Landry of the Dallas Cowboys, plus videotape highlights. So we'll be back in just a moment as the NFL Today continues with Pro Football Report.
Right track with Firestone, Firestone.
Firestone raised white letter tires for your kind of car, your kind of driving. At your Firestone dealer's High Performance Center.
You're on the right track with Firestone, Firestone.
Firestone, the mileage specialist.
When you work up a big thirst, you can have a drink, or you can have Gatorade Thirst Quencher. The professional thirst quencher. Other drinks wet down a thirst. Gatorade quenches it. Gatorade is different than juices or fruit drinks or soda pop or water. Research men created it. Thousands of athletes swear by it. Gatorade Thirst Quencher, the professional thirst quencher.
Tom Landry, the winning coach, you must be out of breath and you must be excited. Congratulations on winning this very important game. Let me ask you, you've been in so many important contests in your career as a player and as assistant coach and as a head coach. How do you rate this game with them?
This is the greatest win that we've ever had, the Dallas Cowboys. I don't think there's any question about it, because it was kind of a game. It was a shame either club had to lose because they came from so far back, to get into this playoff. But we're so happy that it was us, of course, that won this thing. And it was a great tribute to the fellas, because they played superb ball in these last 5 games, and they were never better than they were today.
Tom, your team has not given up a touchdown in some 20 quarters now, which is probably the greatest testimonial to an excellent defense. Today, once again, you stopped the Detroit Lions, and especially you stopped their running attack. What must you say about this defensive club of yours?
Well, when the season started this year, I felt like this was the best defensive club we've ever had here. We didn't play it well early. But in the last 4 or 5 games, they've started to play together very well, and they've just gelled. And they've done a fantastic job, and you have to credit the defense to win today. It's a great team effort, but I think their safety down there when we tried to gamble and lost was really a big play.
Let me ask you about that. It's been said many times that you don't give up the points if you can get them, and at that point, had you made good on a field goal, you would have had a 6-0 lead, and only a touchdown would have beaten you. As it turned out, of course, the gamble didn't work, and it paid off anyway because you trapped Landry for a safety. But why did you decide to go for the points under the circumstance and give up 3 and take the risk of having Detroit perhaps tie the score with a field goal and send it into sudden death?
Well, it's not my nature to do this, as you probably would be aware of. I don't listen to fans too much, but I do listen to players some. And I just felt the players wanted to go for it so badly that I just couldn't deny them the chance to do it.
Were there key plays, 1 or 2, or maybe just one that you can recall that told you that your club was going to go down to the end, battle to the end of this contest, and it was going to be the kind of game it was?
Well, in a game like this, you really can't pick out any key play that would tell you which way it's going to go, because the momentum can change so quickly when you got 2 good teams working there, and I really couldn't pick out any one thing. I knew when we ran the ball so well, in the 3rd quarter and into the 4th quarter there, I knew that our chances were very good to win at that time.
Was this not a day for passing?
Well, it was a day for passing. We weren't really too successful throwing the ball, and neither was Detroit, but I think it was more to the excellent defenses that were working out there than anything else.
I think a lot of time the news media, build up and glorify teams. You won 5 in a row to get here, and now you've won 6 in a row. What happens? So where do you draw the line? Where does the team cross the line where they decide that they're not going to give up and play out the season? Where do they decide that they are going to come back and battle despite the adversity?
Well, I would pinpoint that point as the St. Louis game when we got beat 38-0. That's the point. You can't get much lower than this, and this is the time we turned it around, the time our players started to say, well, if we're going to do anything, we better do it now. And they just did an amazing job.
Finally, Coach, I have to ask you this. After the heartbreaking defeats to the Green Bay Packers and, of course, the losses to the Cleveland Browns, do you think now that the club is over those psyche problems that the press has kept on harping on throughout the past couple of years?
Oh, I think we're over it. I don't think this team will ever have any trouble like that again. I think there was too much made out of it. We were beaten by very good football teams in the Green Bay Packers, and it just seemed like everybody talked about it enough, so we finally got psyched out ourselves, and we couldn't play football anymore. But this is all behind us right now, and you won't see this club do this anymore.
Any preference on who you'd like to play in the NFC Championship game?
Not really. They're 2 excellent football teams, and they're going to have a whale of a battle.
You'd be at home if Minnesota wins.
Yes, that would be good. But we'll be out in San Francisco, I guess, if San Francisco wins.
Tom Landry, once again, congratulations on a very big win today.
Very much. Appreciate it.
Tom Landry, the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, winners today 5-0. And we'll be back with more of the Dallas Cowboy players, Frank Gifford, and videotape highlights in just a moment.
John Hancock introduces Rich Man coverage to the not yet rich. A life insurance package with an initial benefit of $100,000. Very good for the ego. $100,000 of life insurance you thought only rich guys could afford? You can afford. The kind of protection you need today when you think of what's happened to the price of the penny postcard. If you're 24, you may have to pay only about $40 a month. That's all, to be insured for $100,000. Ask your John Hancock man about Rich Man coverage. $100,000 worth of life insurance that'll make you feel like a million.
John Hancock, huh?
With me, a couple of great football players. On my right, Bob Lilly, number 74. You've been watching for a long time now, Bob. And Leroy Jordan, the the defensive captain and play caller. And just going back into this football game, I'll ask you first, Bob. You heard your head coach say it was maybe the most important game the Cowboys have ever won. Did you feel that way yourself?
Well, of course, I definitely did. And, we've been through so much in the last 4 years, and especially the last 2 years with the Cleveland playoffs, that this was an extremely important game as far as I was concerned, and I know it was as far as my teammates were concerned. So we feel that we finally are of age and we're ready to battle anybody, I believe.
Well, I know you talked about those. This is, of course, the 5th time the Cowboys have made those playoffs. Maybe, Leroy, I'll address it to you, because so many people have, as you well know, have wrapped the Cowboys over the years. They say they don't win the big games. I've been around you guys long enough to know that that's not the case. Maybe circumstance or something, but it has to start to infect your ball club a little bit, doesn't it, Leroy?
Yes, Frank, it does. I think the thing that people didn't realize, we had some problems that they didn't know about. We had people injured, and that's been the case for the last 3 or 4 years. Finally, this year, we came into the end of the season with people well, and that's been the case with our team. We had people hurt early in the season, but we got well at the end of the season. That's been the whole thing with this team this year. We've been getting better every week.
Leroy, you're not the biggest of linebackers, what, 215 pounds? Neither Chuck Howley or Dave Edwards, but you got these big cats up front. But how about that linebacking core? It's one of the finest I've seen. You don't do a lot of blitzing either.
No, we don't. I think you have to have larger linebackers than we are to blitz a great deal, because most people block their backs, and you've got to be able to run over them or something, which most of the backs are bigger than we are, so we don't try to do it too much. We go back and defend. We have quick linebackers in Dave Edwards and Chuck Howley, and so we feel like we can do a better job in the secondary than we can blitzing. And when you get the kind of rush we do, you don't need to blitz that much.
And Bob, working alongside of some pretty good boys yourself. I'm thinking, of course, of Larry Cole, George Andre, and Jethro Pugh. You had across from you today Larry Walton, I believe. Right. Did they do anything that you didn't expect them to do?
No, they did about what we expected. I thought Larry was a very fine guard when I'd watched him in the films, and he sure enough was. And I had a lot of trouble with him, but thank goodness we all, one of us was getting a pretty good rush most of the time.
Any preference, Bob, I know you'll be watching that game tomorrow between Minnesota and San Francisco. Any preference as to the outcome of that one?
Well, not really, other than, we think an awful lot of Dick Nolan, but on the other hand, we'd be playing him, so it doesn't really matter. We're just real happy to be right where we are.
How about you, Leroy? Of course, Dick Nolan, that Bob Lilly was referring to, was a defensive coach here under Tom Landry for quite a while. Any preference for you, Leroy?
Really, no preference, Frank. I think everybody on our team is just happy to be here, and we really don't care who we play. We're just looking forward to it, and we're all excited about next Sunday.
What will your next week be like, preparing either for Minnesota or San Francisco?
Well, I think the great thing has been Coach Landry's been giving us a couple of days off early in the week and giving us time to relax. On our first day back, we've been coming out and kind of working on our own, which is kind of let the team take a little pressure off without all the coaches working so close, And I think in turn our coaches get prepared earlier in the week and can give us a better game plan early instead of waiting till Thursday or Friday maybe to change something. So that's been a great thing. We've been very relaxed in the last 2-3 weeks.
I think that's one of the big things Tom Landry has said, which surprised me, really, because you were in a clutch playoff. If the Giants hadn't have lost to the Los Angeles Rams, you wouldn't even have been here. You might have been involved in a coin flip, brother, with